Now that we're familiar with multiplying polynomials by polynomials and binomials times binomials, more specifically, we're going to look at some ways to make our life a lot easier. We're going to look for some special product rules when it comes to multiplying binomials by themselves and stuff. So let's start by putting today's date up at the top, and then we'll do notes, special product rules. Let's look at the first one that's called square of a sum. So, for example, if I were to give us the binomial x plus 5 and then I square it, we're looking at the square of a sum. And I know in the last video we kind of ended with something like this, but this is really saying I need to take the binomial x plus 5 and multiply it by itself. That's what that squared says. And if I were to actually set up the box or do the horizontal method or FOIL, we get x plus 5 times x plus 5. And then if we find the area of all four parts, I get x squared. 5 times x is 5x, 5 times x is 5x, and then 5 times 5 is 25. And then so when I write all of this out, I end up getting x squared plus the 5x plus the 5x plus the 25. But I want us to take notice here that the two terms in the middle, you actually have double that. You have the x squared, and then you have two 5x's. And then the plus 25 for your constant term. So actually I end up getting x squared plus 10x plus 25. If I were to look at another example, do we get the same kind of pattern? So if I were to do x plus 3 squared, it's really x plus 3 times x plus 3. And if I set up my box, I end up getting x plus 3 on one side, x plus 3 on the other. So I get x squared. 3 times x is 3x, 3 times x is 3x, and then 3 times 3 is 9. Writing out all my terms, I get x squared plus a 3x plus a 3x plus 9. Or we have two 3x's in the middle. So I have two 3x's plus the 9. So the question is, where is this 6x coming from, the 2 times 3x? Or in other words, how do I know? I know I'm going to have double of whatever this middle term is right here, but where did that come from? Oh, it's taking the x times the 3, or your two terms here, and you're going to multiply them, and then you get two of them. This is your special product rule when you're taking the square of a sum. So if I put this in general, if I were to take some number a plus some number b, and then I want to square that sum, I end up getting a plus b times a plus b, which if I were to set up my square or my area model, I have a plus b down on one dimension, a plus b on the other. So I get a squared, and then I get a times b, and then b times b is b squared. So there's another fun pattern here too. If you take a look at the top, the second term in our binomial was also squared to get the constant term at the end. So if this is the ultimate goal here, is if we're trying to find a shorter way instead of drawing out the box, I know that all I have to do is take my first term and square it, so that a needs to be squared. I need two of my a times b's, and then I need my last term squared in the binomial. This is your special product rule. And when you find those when you're doing your homework, you can use this special product rule because it does work every single time. So if I were to take a look at an example, instead of doing FOIL or the box or horizontal or vertical method, we can use this special product rule. For example, if I give you let's try x plus 10 squared. My special product rule says I need to take the first term and square it. Well, the first term is x, so I know I should get x squared. My middle term would be 2 of whatever a times b is. So x times 10, I need 10x's. And then I need my last term squared, which would be 10. So I get x squared plus 20x plus 100. I didn't have to set up the box or anything. But this only works for the square of sums. It also works for when you take the square of a sum and you've got, you know, multiple x's in the beginning. So maybe I have like 8c plus 4 and I want to square it. I'm going to take my first term and square it, so 8c squared, plus I need 2 of my 8c times 4. And then I need to square my last term, 4 squared. Well, 8c squared would be 64c squared. I have 2 times 8 times 4 gives me, well, 8 times 4 is 32 times 2, 64c, plus my 4 squared is 16. Didn't have to set up the box or anything. If I were to do variables with both terms in the binomial, so if I were to take 4x plus 3y and I square that, we're going to take the first term and square it, so 4x squared. And then I need 2 of my two terms multiplied together, so 4x times 3y. And then I need my last term squared. Well, 4x squared would be 16x squared. 2 times 4 times 3 would be, well, 4 times 3 is 12 times 2, 24. X times y is xy. And then 3 squared is 9y squared. This is your special product rule. We also have what's called the difference of squares. Difference of squares. Or square of a difference, I guess we could say. So for example, if I give us the problem x minus 4 squared, we know that x minus 4 squared could be written as x minus 4 times x minus 4. So we're actually squaring a binomial that's got a difference, the answer to a subtraction problem. So we're squaring this. Now if I were to set up the box or the area model, I have x minus 4 times x minus 4. X times x gives me x squared. Negative 4 times x gives me negative 4x. And then I get negative 4x down here. And then I get, well, negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. So when I write out all these terms, I get x squared minus 4x plus 16. So when you take a look at this one, I can see that I actually have x squared, so I'm taking my first term and squaring it. And then I actually have, we're taking away 2 of my 4 times x's. And then I have a plus 16. Well, 16 is actually 4 times 4, which is your last term squared. So it's actually 4 squared. And again, what we're looking at here, final answer, if I were to get my x squared minus 8x plus 16. But this is where that's coming from. So can we make up a rule for this one as well? We sure can. All right, let's look at this. Oops. Hey, why is it doing that? So in general, we got the difference of a minus b squared, which really says I would take a minus b times a minus b. And if I were to set up my box, I get a minus b times a minus b. A times a gives me a squared. A times negative b gives me negative ab. A times negative b gives me negative ab, and then a negative times a negative is positive b squared. So when I write all these terms out, I get a squared minus ab plus b squared. And then to put all these together, you get a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. And so this is our special product rule. For when we take the difference of our binomials and square them. let's see if we can use this rule. Let's try, we have x minus y squared. So if I were to take my rule, I know I need to take my first term and square it, so I take my x squared. I'm going to take away 2 times my x times y, and then I have a plus whatever my y, or my second term is, which is y squared. So we end up getting x squared minus 2xy plus y squared. Let's try 4x minus 2y squared. So I'm going to take my first term and square it. Minus 2 times my 4x times my 2y, and then a plus the 2y squared. So I get 16x squared for the first one. I get minus 2 times 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8 times 2, 16xy. And then I have my 2y squared, which gives me 4y squared. If you set up the box, if you do your, your method that you really do enjoy, it will give you the same thing, but using the special product rules and recognizing these special product rules will save you a whole heck of a lot of time. We have one more product rule, which is the product of a sum and difference. Because we did one where you're both terms are adding, then we have both terms are subtracting. What if we have one of each? So for example, if I give us x plus 5 times x minus 5. If we were to set up this box, I end up getting x plus 5, x minus 5. Area of the bottom left box would be x squared. X times negative 5 would be negative 5x. X times 5 is positive 5x. And then I have negative 5 times positive 5, negative 25. So if I write out all my terms here, I get x squared minus 5x plus 5x minus 25. Your two middle terms end up canceling out, leaving behind x squared minus 25. So this is a fun rule here. So following this conjecture, if I were to take x plus 3 times x minus 3, according to this, I would just have to take my first term and square it, my last term and square it, and subtract them. So x times x gives me x squared. X plus 3, or the plus 3 minus 3 would be a minus 9. All right, so let's look at this rule. All right, so the rule, if I were to take a plus b times a minus b, I know I would take a squared and then minus b squared. So works on trickier ones as well. So if I did 2x squared minus 3 and then times 2x squared plus 3, if we were to take our first term and square it, 2x squared squared, and then we're going to take away this 3 and square it. So this gives me, well, 2 squared is 4, x squared squared would be x to the 4th, and then I have 3 squared is 9. All right, I'm going to stop here.